Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews where today, I have my bottle of water somewhere, I've just put it away. I needed to bring it in with me because my throat's acting up a bit. It's just before Christmas and I'm recording this. We're going to be reviewing Jay Chou's third album titled The Eight Dimensions. And I've been losing my mind because I've tried to record this 2 times, this is the third, and I keep forgetting to press the record button on one of the capture devices that I have. So I have to do the whole fucking thing again. So, spoiler alert, getting into it, I need to stress that two things. One, I have high expectations of this album, because at this point, Jay Chou has released 2 highly successful albums. So I'm going to be pretty blunt about how I feel about these tracks. If I don't like it, I'm going to talk about why I don't like it and explain why I don't like it. And I will explain why I felt as if it could have been better. And secondly, I know for a fact that there are a couple of bits in this album that I've listened to so far which are not fantastic or particularly memorable. Now you might be thinking, whoa, what's the point of watching this if this isn't even a first impressions? And it's because I can still talk about what I like about the music. I'm a professional music reviewer. I am. I know I don't act like it. I know I don't put out consistent material, but I do give a shit. And that's important. So we're going to switch over to here, where we have the 8 dimensions, or octave space as people have been calling it. I have been meaning to do this review for 3 weeks. To summarize the intensity of the burnout that I've been feeling over 2021, I kept looking at this album, and I kept setting myself up to do it, and then I just wouldn't do it. I just didn't. And, honestly, I need to be real with you guys about something. This will probably be the last album review that I put on Bilibili. It will probably be the last. I have not managed to sort that out with Bilibili in regards to the payment in a way that is mutually beneficial between Bilibili and myself. We've made progress, but I'm honestly pretty fucking sick to death of it. And I think that it's time for me just to stop prancing around the fact that the situation's bullshit, and you guys deserve to know to know that my intentions. So this will be the end of the trilogy for us. We will be reviewing. This is regardless of what happens between Bilibili and I, by the way. At this stage, it's looking like I'll be getting paid out once, despite me having asked them to pay me regularly like any other fucking person on the platform. The incompetence is fucking insane. I am blown away by the sheer magnitude of the bullshit, but we will focus on the album here. You are not here to listen to my problems. You are here to listen to me, listen to this album and get my thoughts on it. I will be recording this in 2 parts, primarily because I do not trust myself to do 2-minute episodes. It is just too difficult for me to just fucking commit to doing 2. I get distracted, man. So I'm sitting down. We're going to listen through the first 5 tracks. I'll take a break. Probably come back after Christmas. I'll do the other 5. You guys will get to watch these videos. I may even release it a track at a time. But just letting you know the structure. If you see 1 track per video, it's because it makes sense to do that from an SEO perspective. Why would I do a part 1 and not mention either of the tracks I'm reviewing? It doesn't make any sense. But I will try and upload the whole video as one video as well, so that the people who complained in the previous review for Fantasy, oh, why did you just put the whole video up? You'll get that too. It'll be fine, okay? Anyways, starting with this one, with 1.7 million views. Let's get into it. Hang on, I've got lyrics. Ban Shaorin, the orcs. The orcs. Cool. And again, don't get mad. I'm telling you straight up, I have high expectations for this. I have high expectations for anyone who has had the success that Jay Chou has had at this point in time. 2 massive albums like this needs to blow my expectations. I like this orchestral entrance. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really creative and well done, and I wasn't expecting this. These are kettle drums with the synth woodwinds and stuff, or synth strings. Nice crescendo there. Cool, we had some turntables and some staccato strings. Sounds like I'm listening to an R&B track from the mid-90s. Alright, you're probably wondering why aren't we watching the videos? Well, because I just want to listen to the song and it's full audio quality. People were complaining about the quality of the videos before. So we'll listen to it like we did with the first one, except there'll be better subtitles. Nice double tracking of the vocals. See, this is nice. It's nice to have this interesting stuff. My throat is actually giving out on me at the moment. I'm going to be... I'll do one track and then I'll do another 4. I think that's how I'm going to have to do it. My throat is giving out on me right now and I don't want to lose my voice. You won't notice a difference because you'll be seeing it edited together, but I'm just giving you a hint. If you see me suddenly wearing a different t-shirt, you'll know I did this the next day. What does this have to do with the orcs? What does this have to do with the orcs? Like, I listen to this and I think, wow, this just sounds like a traditional sort of like semi-generic R&B pop track from the late 90s, early 2000s. Like, there's some interesting stuff happening with the percussion and the vocals. There's difference in there, but I'm not quite vibing with it. I'll have to listen to the lyrics. That was too loud. That was too loud in the mix. That was nicely panned, but that was peaking there. I didn't like that very much. Was that meant to be a jump scare in the middle of a track? Maybe it's just my headphones I'm wearing. There's a bit of resonance on the sides, but it's nice. It's okay. It's nice to have this catchy brass melody with the kicks and this. Like, to be fair to Jay Chou, there's some interesting stuff with the 808s and stuff. It's resonant. The style reminds me a lot of the hip hop I listen to nowadays. Boom, 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 boom. And it happened in a lot of the like noughties hip hop as well, the 2000s. It's an interesting combination of different elements, actually. We got some stomping. We got some stomping, some kicking, and some stomping. Good, 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 good. Yeah, I'm guessing that this is probably taken from the YouTube video for this track because it sounds like it was structured like that. The weird kind of pause like that is unusual. I mean, I admire the dedication to the multi-audiovisual experience, but at the same time, as a listener who's unaware of why we are pausing the tracks there, it's kind of like off-putting a little bit, you know? You could have just done a music video edit. Again, like there's some cool stuff going on. I'm liking this as an intro track. I'll be honest, when I first heard this in the first attempt at reviewing this, I wasn't a massive fan of it, but I think I'm more open-minded now. I'm trying to appreciate it a bit more from an open perspective. It's not a totally different experience. It's just, yeah. I feel like he's having a bit more fun with this one. I think I enjoy this because he's trying to enter with a strong track that's a little bit more original. Kind of like some of the more avant-garde fantasy stuff that we had. But a lot of the elements that people like from his previous works. Yeah, I mean, like, it's well produced, mixed and mastered. I've got no complaints about the production at this point. It's just a given that it's going to sound good. Although, the orc sound was too loud for me, man. I didn't enjoy that at all. It didn't, I shouldn't be doing that. It's just going to make my throat worse, but I didn't enjoy that. I think it was too loud. Don't get me wrong, I love metal and dubstep and grindcore and all that kind of stuff. It just sounded too resonant within the mix and it was unexpected. I didn't appreciate it. The vocals are fairly solid and well done in this. Like he switched between different vocal styles, between like his chest voice and his head voice. You had the amount of rapping that you needed to make it count, and I dig that too. Lyrics. I'm just gonna read through these lyrics just to cut down the amount of time I spend on these lyrics during the reviews. I'm just gonna try and get my idea of what the track is about. Like, from what I can tell, he's talking about the people around him devolving into monsters. And he's trying to stay pure and then to heal the people around him. I can see, like, we're talking about, like, trying to stop resentment and hatred and trying to stop stop it from taking over us, which I think is cool. And he's commenting basically here with the tears boiling, the abnormal ice-cold wind, the clip-clop sounds, lets people sleep unsafe and insecure. About how the actions of these ogres, these people, is affecting others, and how it's a shame that we have to fight, and that we're kind of just like letting ourselves be corrupted for the sake of violence and our love for it. This is kind of growing on me, Ban Shaorin. It's growing on me a little bit. I like this track. I think that it does, like, the brass sounds like you're going into battle, and like there's different variations of the way he expresses himself vocally. The style of music though is very much the way that music just was with the pop and R&B back then. They had the wigga, the turntables and all that kind of stuff. And I vibe with that. I think it's great. That's good fun. And goodness to Jay Chou for sticking with what works for him in the previous records. There wasn't anything particularly new here, although I did like the Foley being included. I think that's quite nice. With the clip-clops and stuff like that. Just not the sound of him growling. That wasn't fun for me. I think I understood what this track was about. I kind of understand the connection with it. It's a shame it hasn't got a lot of attention. We'll listen through track 2 soon. See you then. Alright, I'm back for tracks 2 to 5 today. It is Christmas Eve when I'm recording this. So if anyone was wondering, does Spiderhands actually give a shit about these reviews? Yes, I do. I just am, I procrastinate, or there's other things that stop me from getting it done on time. This track, as I understand it, is called Peninsula Iron Box, or Iron Box of an Island. So we'll go to here, we'll actually go to the album, listen through this track from start to finish, track number 2, as well as 3 to 5, and then I'll do the rest, maybe at some point before the end of the year. Not that my Bilibili at the moment is alive at the moment. It's practically dead, but that's okay. That's what happens when you have no idea how to run a Bilibili channel. Lovely piano line though we're coming in with. Oh, now that's a shame. I wish we'd stuck with that piano there. It was gorgeous, even if it was sampled from something else. I think it's a great introduction, and to pull it away is a bit of a shame. It kind of makes me think again that Jay Chou has been working, he's ripped the audio straight from the music video and stuck it on the album, and that's a bit disappointing to me. Guitar is pretty. Drums are mixed well. Lovely ethno groove there. melodic rapping, key change. You know, like, I'm trying to imagine what makes this a good song. And, like, to me, I think the key change coming into this part, it's probably heavily dependent on the lyrics. And we got some backing vocals here, some double tracking here. It's a lovely kind of hook. I'm not really sure what the importance of it or what it's trying to describe, but it's a pretty song. This sounds like it's going for a very long time, this particular section. I mean, this is a 5-minute track. It's almost extravagant to think nowadays, because a lot of people write singles nowadays that are between 2 and 4 minutes. Having a track for 5 and something minutes is very, very long, you know? But that's okay. Again, it would depend on the story that's being told. There's a little bit of change in music, like the overall sort of harmonies, and there's some key changes and stuff which just insinuate different sections. You know, like, and it sounds like he's talking in each ears at this point, because the vocals are panned to the extreme left and right. That's actually quite clever. I didn't really notice that the first time around listening to this, but I kind of dig that. That surround sound is kind of clever. Or some additional vocals with the guitars, bass, drums. And there's a pad in there somewhere as well, a synth pad or something. Little drop synth there. More Foley from the music video. Oh, going up a step. Going up a step. Cool. We got some overdubs at this back end. And it's backing out from the bass in this part. You know, like, it sounded easy for him to go into that falsetto there, that head voice. I don't entirely understand why this track is so much more popular than Ogre, which was a previous song. It must have been one of the singles off the album or something like that, you know? It's talking about him finding a book called The Iron Box of the Peninsula. This is the lyrics, by the way. He can't find the key to the iron box. There's someone else reading the book beside him that they've left. Oh, encased in the box is the happiness you brought me. So the box is their relationship and he can't get access to that because the person was the key and they're not there anymore. His hands should be warmer than mine. Oh, so this is like another song about the woman leaving and he feels really sad about that. Struggling with the memories of that within his iron box. So it's basically a love song or a song about a breakup. All right. You know, that this is kind of his shtick. And among some of the quirkier, kind of wacky stuff he does, predominantly a lot of his songs are about relationships, and it makes sense this song's popular. You got the boy bandish kind of tonality, the way he sings. I'm sure it was a heartthrob back in the day as well. You know, it probably still is. I don't know. But good on Jay for hustling the way he needs to in order to get somewhere in life. We've got track 3, which is called Secret Signal, apparently. Similar tonality to the Iron Box someone listened to previously. Very different to Ogre. I'm not sure why we had Ogre to start with, but we've had 2 of these songs in a row. I don't know, man. I'm not really vibing with this album at the moment. But like for when it came out almost 20 years ago to the day, like this is fairly impressive, right? I mean, I was like 11 when this came out. I don't like the idea of turning 31 this year, 2022, but I guess that's the way it is, right? I mean, like, for me as someone who's very used to Jay Chou and his previous 2 albums, nothing so far that I've listened to on this record has been particularly, like... It doesn't sound like it's gone up a level of any sort. It sounds like he's very comfortable with where he is. He took some risks in fantasy. Like, I remember there was a Halloween song and, like, a nunchuck song with, like, distorted guitar and stuff like that. Don't know if there'll be any more of that in this album. Yeah, that sounds painful when he goes into his head voice, like, he goes into that tonality. Sounds kind of painful, man. Like, I know the guy is a great singer, but at the same time, that sounds like a really difficult note for him to hit without going into his falsetto. It's just that midpoint where it's difficult. He could be deliberately doing that to show a sense of frustration or struggle with the situation. It's nice to hear guitar-led songs with the drums and I don't know if those are sampled drums, might be a drum pad or something like that. Bass guitar is kind of charming as well, right? But yeah, like, I mean, I think what's kind of really wild to me about this whole situation, I mean, now that my Bilibili is crumbling before my eyes, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever, right? It's just wild that I became known as someone who reviewed Jay Chou, because I don't typically listen to this kind of music at all. I never really liked this kind of music at all. It's just now that I'm older, I have an appreciation for it. And it's come very, very recently. And it's just sort of serendipitous that it came with me doing reviews for people, you know? I mean, it's a nice interlude, don't get me wrong. Where's the spark, though? Where's the zazz, man? Where's that X factor? Like, it's nice to hear a bit more vibrato and ornamentation in his vocals, don't get me wrong. He's just got such clean vocals that grit doesn't come naturally, does it? It's difficult to get those vocal harmonies to resonate like that, don't get me wrong, I think he's a great singer. He was trying to get a bigger sound that he could potentially handle at that point. But we're remembering what I understand about Jay Chou. That was a big step for him, and good job for him trying to do a ballad like that. I think that's great. Got the piano in there now as well on the right side. It's several different vocal lines going on at the moment. I do like the panning of the vocals and the separate channels. I think that's great. The engineering is on point, and there were some fun steps taken there. They had a great time with this, the post-production element of things, and I think that's fantastic. I'm really happy for them. That's where I think the most gains have come from this record so far, is in the post-production. This is an interesting one. This is a little bit different. Haven't received... What I want to do you have more than others. I know it all. What you want to say. Haven't received your voice messages. And no one has been able to guess that this is our secret signal. So they've got a thing between the two of them. Oh, so they're talking about what comes between them and being together. But you don't want to be secretive about it. You want to be open with each other about it. I won't leave my side, only having you can my world be perfect. You say you want to leave, let go of my hand. Love's too tiring, too restrictive. So they stopped having a signal. So it's another breakup song, is it? Man, Jay Chou really struggles to stay in a relationship, doesn't he? He's not having a great time with Secret Signal. Track number 3. You know, does it sound like... I don't know, man. Does it sound like that's happening? Like, if we go back to the verse. Nah, it doesn't sound like Secret Signal. I would have understood it if it was like the second track where it was talking in your ear like this during the verses. Maybe it's meant to be a one-on-one situation. I don't know. I'm not really vibing with either of these two tracks. They're more of the same of what I've heard from Jay Chou recently. And I know at the end of the day with music, a lot of people say that they want the artist to continue to develop and grow and become better and better. No, they don't. They want the same stuff over and over because it's easy to digest. This is why songs like this are fairly popular. But the ones where there are risks taken are actually less popular. Like, I think this one's... What's the fourth one? Long Quan Dragon Fist lyrics. Excellent. Excellent. This one looks pretty insane. This one looks like there were some risks taken, and it's got 1.7 mil views. We got some kettle drums, some battle scars, man. I like that. It's very, very dramatic. It kind of sounds more like Ogre than anything previous. What is the structure of this album? Why has it been done like this? Why would you structure an album like this, Jay? This is kind of like, it's weird. You've got like Ogre, and then you've got 2 love songs, and then you've got this. I don't get it. Is this meant to be chronological, or is it just different songs you enjoyed? Like, I'm liking this sort of guitar, and it's great with this martial arts theme, kind of like nunchucks from the second one, but what's happening with this? It's a shame, dude. This is different. You got some sub-droppy kicks going in there. It's a good time. It's sassy as heck, man. The guy's got this is more the kind of aggressive tonality I needed from his rapping previously when you had that kind of fiery stuff going on. I dig it, man. This is fun. Look at the stereo panning of that. Hey, look, instrumental break. Fun. It's interesting and exciting because you don't know what you're gonna get. Vocal chops. Catchy little melody on the stringed instruments. like Susa or whatever. Like there's these Chinese instruments that sound like they've been played here, in addition to the turntablism and the drums and the guitar and the bass and the vocals, and it's all perky and charismatic and fun. This is where I think Jay excels, when he's not being expected to sing soppy relationship songs. I mean, like, more power to Jay if he wanted to write those songs about breakups and secret signals and that kind of stuff, but it's just so random the way that this has been structured, you know? Okay, this is quite a long chorus, but it's okay, it's catchy. I think this is the thing that's changed a lot since, like in recent years, is that you typically wouldn't need that many times for the chorus. You'd have it half as long. You'd get the hook line in and then right into a new section because you don't have the time you used to have. It's just disappointing, and I'm kind of not vibing with it, I suppose. Cool. Cool. Okay. Pop. Boom, boom, pop. This kind of requisites the time length. You've got like lots of little instrumental fun bits going on with the main theme and various sections being repeated. And an interlude section? Riffed off of the chorus? An increase in the, going 1 and 2 and so there's an 8th note groove and da-da-da-ba-ba for their build for the 16ths. The filter work with the battle drums and the strings. There's just so much fun stuff to pay attention to within this track. It's really well written. It's excellent. I encourage Jay to take more risks like this. You don't have to do the same stuff you've done on your other records. You don't have to always give the listener what they want. Oh, key change? Excellent. With this additional, like, upper level, sort of upper mid guitar riff, it sounds a little bit more euphoric and a little bit more grandiose, you know? Sounds like a big outro, right? Cool. That was just a little fun part. I assume that was part of the video. It's kind of taken me out of the experience to be remembering that these edits are probably because they were video, from video focus to the audio. Kind of sounds like you're listening to a cinema score soundtrack, you know? A movie soundtrack. Excellent. That's it. That's that track done. We've got Dragon Fist. You know, the lyrics, east north with Duang Hung as its center, this folk's seashore is like a bow. I use my arms to pull the weight of this whole earth. It sounds like a Dragon Ball Z character or something like that. Chinese character to the bottom do not understand a kind of skin color and face. I don't. Okay, these translations are fairly garbage, but still. My right fist kicked open the sky into a dragon. Wait until the British Mail, I'm that dragon. What does that even mean? I suppose, like, maybe the song is talking about how, like, he's like a martial artist or a superpower and he's trying to defend the world and kind of save it or something. And he's talking about becoming the dragon to be able to get the superpowers to split the oceans and lift mountains and stuff like that. Thirsty looking blood veins connected with an unlimited limit of 10 million brothers. You're going up to the heavens. It sounds like he's trying to perform superhuman feats. This is so different than what we've had previously. What was going on? Why did they do it like this? I don't get it. This album, you know, which is probably the last one that I'll be doing via Bilibili at this point in time, is an enigma to me. I have no idea why it's been structured that way. But it has. We've got the 5th track, which is, Where is the Train Going? So that's fun. Now we've got a train song. What are we doing with our lives, man? Like, I don't get it. It's a miracle. Like, you just couldn't get away with this kind of situation nowadays. Or maybe you could. Maybe I'm just tripping. But, like, you know, it's just weird. You have Ogre, breakup song. And people are probably like, get to the song, man. I'm like, maybe I'm just overthinking it. At least Fantasy made sense because there was all these different, I don't know, man. Again, guitar led. Is it like, I'm not being facetious here. You see the 2 split personalities. Is it one side being the crazy, sort of weird, surreal fantasy stuff and the other being the human being behind it? Is that what this album is about? I mean, I'm reviewing this so that people can hear me talk about Jay Chou. I mean, I am. I don't know if they want to hear me talk about Jay Chou after this, but at least it'll be properly translated, right? So you can be disgusted at me understanding me correctly. Okay. Alright. I vibe. We got glitchy synthy parts coming in here for some reason that I'm not quite aware of. Lovely, sort of like R&B synths though. Again, like, it's fascinating, and why is this the least listened to track? How is this objectively a better track than that one? Is it just because this one was the single or something like that? How is this? I guess I'm an outlier, man. I guess what I was saying about people needing the same kind of material every time, I guess it was the case. You know, people have been talking to me about the fact that Jay Chou hasn't released as much stuff recently, and dude, I'd be burnt out too. It's like there's this belief. I just realized that I haven't had that lamp on the whole time. I'm supposed to have that lamp on when I do these reviews. I forgot to turn it on. Whoops. It's alright, you guys ought to see me clearly anyways. It's not like I'm totally blind. I mean, like, you have the singing in the backing vocals and him rapping here. Like, that's the thing we've heard a few times. It's kind of his wheelhouse. I don't know, he's kind of like the sweetheart of like Mando pop, isn't he? If I'm not completely off kilter there. I get why people love him. Like, the song's well produced and he's singing really well, and there's there's carefully written melodies and harmonies and little grooves on the drums and such. It's just that it's predictable because we've already established that this is the level that he's at. This may be irritating for you to hear, but honestly, I'd rather listen to someone whose production wasn't as perfect in regards to listening to multiple albums, because then you get to hear different sides of their journey. It's not just clinical and sterilized from the outset. Not that this vocal performance is sterilized. There's no auto-tune or anything like that. I think that it's fantastic that he's singing raw into that microphone. It's really cool. It's just I doubt that there's going to be anything in this album aside from the orc going roar in that one, I doubt there's going to be anything that'll particularly sort of astound me in regards to the levels of the mixing or anything. I think ultimately we have a situation here where I would love to be more positive about this album, and I know there's massive Jay Chou fans up here. But as someone who is becoming, you may not agree with me here, I'm becoming slightly more knowledgeable than I was before about this musician. You know, am I so wrong to not be particularly entertained by this album at this point in time? You know what I mean? I've listened to 3 of his albums in the space of 6 months. I mean, like, talking about the cicadas in the treetops, Sky of July, and wondering where the train's going. Like, talking about missing you. You know, talking about, it's another breakup song. Why did you leave? I'm a fish out of water. I'm on my final breath's left. I'm like a bee who can't find honey. I'll tell off every page of the past. I'll tear out the calendar to word of you arrives. It's kind of like the Iron Box song where he could never get back to finding the memories of the person. They could never find peace in that. Like, honestly, dude, 3 of these songs are about breakups. Why is this song about breakup less popular than this one and this one, which is about a breakup? Or about, like, issues with the relationships? Man, I swear if the rest of this album is like this, I'm going to be bored shitless. I'm going to piss a lot of people off. I'm not trying to. Fantasy had enough change in it to where it was like, oh. Like, the second song, I think... The first song was about being in a pyramid and there was like Egyptian stuff going on. And maybe it was the video that made it more special. Maybe that's the crutch that I'm falling back on with this. That when I take away the visual experience and I'm listening with my eyes. No, when I just listen to the music, I realize, oh, that's just what it is. Again, phenomenally recorded and produced stuff. Jay Chou is a fantastic musician. I'm just not really fussed about it at this point. The Dragon Fist song was great, and even Ogre had its pluses, and I can appreciate the musicality of the other 3. There's not really favorites of mine. But anyways, catch you for the next 5. See you soon. And I am back. Day 2, or it's actually been a few weeks later after this. I recorded this, I think, just before Christmas. It is now, as you can see here, late. You might not be able to see it. It's late January, and I'm finishing off this review now. You'll notice that I'm using a green screen. So hopefully this looks a little bit more professional than what I've had previously with, like, the box. Apologies if you liked the box. I'm not going back to it. I am very close to having the green screen how I want it to look and appear in the reviews that I've been doing. And this will be the format that I use for live streams. And it's a whole lot less stressful. You know what I mean? It keeps things a whole lot more simple as long as I don't screw up the lighting, where it makes it look like I've got snow up here because there's like a green color within the dye of this black. And it highlights it and then it goes transparent. Fun. But we're going to listen to the remaining 5 tracks of this album from start to finish. What we think. We've got a Grandpa's Tea. Oh no, it's Split, which is track number 6. And Happy New Year, by the way. Happy New Year to you if you're watching this. Well done for watching this far. Oh, this is a nice piano melody here. This is kind of gentle and kind of lovely. Well, I like the bass. Nice and round and very nice and deep. And the acoustic drum kit there is a nice additional element as well. We do have lyrics for the remaining 5 tracks as well. Don't worry, we're all sorted. Oh, nice transition to the major. Oh, there are some interesting chord progressions in there. I know that I wasn't particularly fond of everything that occurred in the first half of this album, but I can appreciate Jay Chou's musicianship and the care that he puts into his chord progressions and other bits. The strings are a nice additional layer. Oh, we're not going to a chorus yet. I wasn't expecting that, and I kind of like that, you know? Ooh, we've heard that a few times before from him, I think. That was a more comfortable vibrato, even in his head voice. I like that he's exploring his ability as a singer. Not just as a rapper or a straight piper, but... Oh. Stunning, yeah. Held himself really well as the center focal point of the mix. I really enjoyed those additional vocal parts as well on the sides of the stereo field. I think you had 3 different parts there, the high, mid, and low, and it sounded huge without being overwhelming, and lots of warmth to it. It was charming, and I don't know what this track is about due to not understanding the language particularly well, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. Oh, that right symbol there. That's what I appreciate about music from even as late as the 2000s, before the loudness war began with Metallica and trying to get the loudest track possible. And there was dynamic range to the way that people played instruments. I'm sure that's still a thing nowadays, but there's less of it because there's this urge to try and get the loudest possible song you can get. In certain genres of music anyway, especially pop music, and I feel that it is such a shame. It removes the humanity of it. Sometimes it can even remove the subtleties of the beautiful subtleties of the songs that you're listening to, and I think that's sad. So I appreciate songs like this. Thank you. Well done, Jay. I like that how we're not committing to going into the chorus for that first time. Usually the bridge goes straight into the chorus on the first time, but Jay Chou again, even though we are familiar with it from the first time through the verse bridge chorus, he's maintaining that what's gonna happen next, you know? I enjoy that. You've got these 90s R&B soul vibes and a lot of the more subtle, but there's parts of the boy band stuff, but less so because it doesn't sound nearly as cheesy. He had a lot of different musical inspirations, didn't he? I like that a lot. It's lovely. A really lovely song. Well done, Jay Chou. That's it. Lyrics. I think this is about like Jay Chou loving someone whilst he was in high school or something, and you know, maybe he doesn't get along with the father of the woman involved or something like that, and he has to kind of whisk her away on his motorcycle. But I think this is talking as well, from what I've read, about getting into a good school and like the pressures to try and succeed academically. The fact that it really rips people to shreds, and he's saying, yo, you know, life's not over if you don't get into the best school. You've still got more to live for, you know. You'll move on from this. You'll get past this. And I think that's a really positive message. And I think this song did represent that to a certain extent. Again, Jay Chou typically, unless he's really being deliberate about it, will try and appeal to as wide a range of people as he can with his main tracks. And those are the most popular ones, because even if it's about something reasonably obscure, it's relatable enough that most people will be able to sort of kind of identify with it. But also, it's Mando pop. It's that traditional stuff he's made his own, and so like people are like, oh, he's doing that again. I remember talking about the fact that I was disappointed with Jay Chou not taking as many risks, or that I was disappointed with the fact that the most played songs were the love ballads, but I need to remember that that's his bread and butter. He has experimented with some interesting songs like Nunchucks and other tracks like that, and Dragon Fist and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's okay. We got ourselves, I think this was, this is Grandpa's Tea, I think. Okay, we got a... Oh, this is kind of charming, isn't it, with these jangly guitars? These pad-like vocals. People, I've seen this through translators, and pad-like vocals, what I mean by that is the vocals sound soft and like a floor or something. They're a foundation for the rest of the other melodic elements to sit on. They're not as much of a voice. Obviously, they are a voice, but you know what I mean? It's more of a mood and atmosphere rather than a piercing note. You got the call and response here. Oh, we're going to the sides there for a minute. For a bit more presence, I suppose. I like da 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 dum, and we go resolve back to the major. There's a bit of tension at the end of every 2 bars. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the end of every 2 bars. And it keeps things sounding fresh and interesting. It's nice that the vocals on the side there. It's been handled classily. It's a very feel-good song, isn't it? What is that? It's an interesting sound. I haven't really heard that before. Oh, we got some DJ scratching, some turntablism. I wasn't expecting that. You know, like I know that the turntablism was pretty popular back in the early 2000s, late 90s. I'm wondering if that has something to do with Grandpa's Tea or if it's alluding to something else. I'm not quite sure. I have questions. Yeah. There's some weird sounds coming in here that I don't personally identify with, but I respect the fact that we're trying new things. It may just be a little bit too bright and fluffy if you didn't have these weird kind of bits of dissonance in there. I'm assuming that the lyrics will provide some context. It sounds lovely and it sounds nice and fun, and I enjoy that. You've got this arpeggiated sort of chord progression going on there, but in the background, it just loops effortlessly, and he's just going la 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 la. And it's catchy, man. No real complaints about it. Drums are mixed well, they're nice and punchy in the mix. Oh, key change? Alright. Okay, Jay Chou, we're going for that key change here, man. Alright. These fun little rhythms and grooves that he's instantiating within the mix there. You don't always know what to expect. Alright, sweet, man. No real complaints about this track at all. I liked that it was charming, youthful, vibrant, charismatic. I mean, it was very different to the last track we heard, and I'm still not quite sure how these tracks tie together, but I'm sure that when we do our conclusion, it'll make more sense. Okay, so we got Grandpa's Tea. So we're talking about Grandpa's Tea, the smell of home. Maybe keeping things nice and humble and not going too over the top. Oh, I think that he's looking back his grandpa. Was this a song about his grandpa or something like that? Talking about going on the swing on a rainy day. Looking through the dictionary. I didn't know how to waste time until I was 9. Wow. Crazy. Talking about respect for the grandpa. Don't talk during tea. Like a splash of ink landscape painting the sand of the Tang dynasty for thousands of years. It's still scraping. Oh, so there's this. I think it is about his granddad. I think that's looking back at his experiences when he was younger and the happier times and sort of identifying with who they are and everything like that. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's great that Jay Chou is sort of This track could just be him going through his various experiences of his life that he wanted to highlight and recalibrate in his own head. I think that's great. If it inspires him and is meaningful to him, then that's what matters, right? And then we've got a Back to the Past here, track number 8. Back to the Past. Oh, this is a little bit more acoustic, isn't it? I see that this is the big boy. This is the 15 mil plays. Fun fact. Did you know that the average artist needs 325 plays to make $1 on Spotify? So off of this song, how much would he have made? Before tax and everything, off of this song alone on this one streaming platform, the net income or the income before tax, so actually just the revenue for this track is around $46,000. So if you get a decent amount of plays on Spotify, you can do pretty well for yourself as a musician. I don't know what kind of cut Jay Chou would have gotten for himself this early in his career, but regardless, I think that this is fantastic. Well done to him. $46,000, dude. I'm aware Spotify wasn't around in 2002, but you get my point. Oh, lovely vocals, nice and clean. little bit of vulnerability in there. Soft and meaningful. Oh, going to that higher range so elegantly. He transitions incredibly well. His vocals are really peaking at this point. Oh, that shift there. Interesting transitions here. There are two guitars. Ooh, this is complex. It's gorgeous, actually. I can understand why this is popular. Yeah, these harmonies are fantastic with the vocals, and the guitar and all the elements of the mix are working really well together. Some interesting bass lines as well there. The bass is nice and subtle. I haven't really spoken about that too much. Oh, tension. Oh, where are we going with this? Hey, fun! It's excellent. That lovely little break there, that pause to sort of absorb everything you've heard so far, and then back into a hook. So you can hear that guitar in the center, which is interesting. But what I like about what Jay Chou has done here is they've put his vocals on the side to make room for that guitar. That's a smart move. Occasionally you have musicians who'll try and put the vocals in the center and then the guitar in the center, and it just doesn't work very well. I'm really grateful that he didn't do a key change. I'll be disappointed. It's a great way to occasionally pique the interest at the end of the song, but if you do it too much, it just becomes a little bit boring, you know? It becomes semi-predictable. And the guitar's fading out. Oh, radio filter time! It's nice to have this at the end, although I think that this has come from the video. I think I mentioned this in the previous part of this review, the first half of the album I reviewed. I get the impression that this has gone straight from the video to the track. And while I don't think there's personally anything wrong with that, it's still like, as long as it's improving the experience of the listener and the Foley makes sense, like if you have sort of sounds of nature or whatever, as long as that makes sense with the song, it doesn't matter if you have this exact same audio for the track as per the video. Because you know how some videos will have additional stuff to a track? They'll add like an extra movie bit or something. I think that has that, yeah, you know what I mean. We've got lyrics. Yeah, this is fully translated into English, so this is a popular one. I think that this is a love song about him going back into the past and trying to fix things. Yeah, I like at high school or something like that, and to go back to where it all started. Yeah, of course it's popular. It's a love song, right? Everyone loves a love song from Jay Chou. This time I would hold you tighter. I'm not sure if it's still in time to make things up in this way. I want to go back to the past. I like the lyrics, I turn around, solitude is lying by my side. I think those are clever. Yeah, okay, I get it. With silence I heard all the strangeness. Quietly look at the dusk and dawn. Your silhouette loses balance and gradually sinks. I want to go back to the past. Yeah, it's a love song. Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with that being a love song. I don't think that's an inherently bad thing. It's a well-written song. It's just, it seems like this is just a safe option for Jay Chou if he wants to get attention, is to write a love song. I mean, he's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful man. I get it. Probably had a lot of fans back in the day, and obviously now. You know, well done to him. It's not the most original subject to write a song about, but he performed it well. I'll be right back. All right, we'll go track number 9. Little Blacksmith in Milan. I wonder what this track is about. Oh, it's kind of pretty, isn't it, with these really smooth synths? Kind of sound brassy, but they've also got a nice resonance and a reverb to them. You almost instantly know that when the play count is low for a Jay Chou song, that you're going to find a song that's actually interesting. Hot take, but I stand by it. I mean, I don't really get it musically, but it's okay. I mean, he's melodic rapping over like stringed instruments, the bass and the drums. Got that diminished flats. Oh, what's that? Oh. I mean, like, it's like, I was about to say contemporary hip-hop and R&B. I like, yeah, it's very different nowadays to what it was 20 years ago when this was written. 2002. As it's 2022 when I'm making this. What was that? Was that a cow or something? That a moo? I can't believe I just said, is that a moo? In a professional review. Is that a moo? I think this song is breaking me slowly. Like, what am I even listening to? Like, I can understand that there's a verse, a bridge, and a chorus. It's so wacky. And I love that Jay Chou is taking risks. Well done. Genuinely. How are you going to grow and develop as a musician unless you try and do different things to what your wheelhouse is? Those little bits there are kind of dope because it's like, oh, wait, whoa, hang on, what's happening? I didn't order this for breakfast. And it's, you just don't quite expect it. There's a bit of extra tension and you're kind of being edged. Take that how you mean it, however you want. You're being edged until the chorus. That's a rude word, man. What was that? Classical guitar? Latin American styles? Kind of reminds me of Rodrigo y Gabriela a little bit. I'll let Jay Chou have that one. I was not expecting that kind of key change. It was based off of the video though, wasn't it? How dare he? How dare he do that, right? I like how much more you hear turntablism in this track. I like how that's a forefront on the left side of the stereo field. I like how there's a random cow in there. I like how random this track is. I really enjoyed it. It's mixed well, and if you can put these elements into a track, as strange as they may be, but allow them to make sense, you got yourself a banger, my dudes and dudettes, for real. Well done, Jay Chou. Alright, what's this one about? What is Little Blacksmith in Milan about? Oh, the blacksmith is wanting to become a professional musician. Oh, that's cool. So he eventually gets there, right? Oh no, maybe he did, he didn't. I suppose you'd have to watch the video to understand and hear it. Oh, he has an emo fringe. It was getting into that part of the 2000s where the emo stuff was coming in. That was Little Blacksmith in Milan. That was a fun story. I think the video was a real kind of, that'd be the real betterment of it. I may watch that in my own time. However, we have one more track to listen through today. The final battle. This one looks to be a meaningful one. Oh, sorry. Oh, man. It's sheep. It's sheeps. Sorry, I nearly missed the sheep in Little Blacksmith in Milan, and that would have been a bigger tragedy than ever. Oh. This is what I mean about like taking the video and shoving it into a song, an album like this. I mean, I can't fault his creativity there and his balls, man. He got big balls for doing something like this. I mean, I guess you know straight away that it's about a big battle, right? Makes sense. How do you match the intensity of the intro though, right? He almost sounds too angelic to be involved in a battle like this. I mean, the strings are very sad and he sounds like he's crying out or really kind of mucked up by what occurred. Ooh. It's a bit spicy, isn't it? Okay. What are we going to do with this? We've got an extra layer of vocals. Are we going to increase it? Are we going to pump it? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? The bush, the sub drop. Okay. staccato strings. I'm also loving how the guitar has been leading most of the stuff within this album. I think it's great. The guitar is a versatile instrument. There's a fairly big boom. Big boom. I mean, it is a tragedy that anybody should be involved in a war. I like that there's change in the percussion and we're not just going like the whole damn time. I think it's great we got adjustments there. And back into that hook. Sorry, I kind of zoned out. There's nothing in this track that's really pulling me into a place where I want to pay a super huge amount of attention to it. Like, it's more polished with the production value than the other two albums. There's a brightness and more of a trim with the EQing and stuff. Do we? We have bagpipes. What a way to finish it out, man. Synthetic digital bagpipes. Wow. That was the end of the album, boys and girls. That was the end of the album. That's it. That's it. No more. No more. No more. No more Jay Chou. No more Jay Chou album for today. We got the lyrics first though, hang on. Yeah, this is definitely about the war. Or one of them. Oh, they've gone from school to have to fight in this battle, right? Yeah, it sounds pretty horrendous. I don't really feel the need to explain why the song is so sad and so tragic. Oh no, the person died. Did they get shot or something like that and they couldn't be revived? So this is a sad one. I have a feeling that if my assumption is correct, Jay Chou may have had someone die during a war. Maybe he was doing military service or something. Or someone he knew was doing military service and their friend died in the trenches in their arms. I get that Jay Chou couldn't go too heavy on any of these tracks and the sad side of things. Like, it couldn't get too sad. There needed to be that this mando pop kind of balance to it, this equilibrium. At the same time, though, it didn't sound to me like a song about someone dying in your arms in the middle of a battlefield. You had a track that had the foley, the sounds of machine gun fire, and a battle zone. And you clearly could hear that Jay Chou was expressing similarities towards the matter. That makes sense. But there just wasn't the musical weight of this kind of situation, in my opinion. Because of the limitations Jay Chou has within the genre and his responsibilities as a musician of his level at that point in time. I don't think that Jay Chou could have gotten away with making it really sad and depressing. It wouldn't have been appropriate. I think that that's the limitation of who he is, where he was. Maybe he tried to go for something heavier and they had to balance it out with bright strings and a bagpipe. I think it would have been better to have just had a normal bagpipe. Maybe it was a parody of a bagpipe. I don't know. We have, I don't want to go into the politics of where I live and stuff like that. But we at least, if I mention we have people play bagpipes and it didn't really sound anything like that. And I think that for the third album, the least you could have done is actually had like proper bagpipes. Maybe they were and there was an effect put on them. There was something synthetic and kind of ugly about that. And it's a shame. But that's really a very small gripe in the grand scheme of things. It's basically conclusion time. As far as I'm aware at this point in time, this will be the last Jay Chou album review I put on Bilibili. The reason for this is very simple. I don't really respect Bilibili as a company in regards to the way it handles foreign content creators, in regards to the way they handle payments. My trust in the platform has been destroyed, and I am going to be going back to where I started doing these reviews, and I don't even know if I can mention the name of the website, but I'll give you a hint. It's where I mentioned that I passed the Bilibili quiz. I'm sure people watching this will know that I had a channel before this, which is obviously a lot smaller than this Bilibili channel. However, given that the channel is now monetized, there is now far more of an opportunity for me to make some sort of part-time living off of it than Bilibili, where it has been such a struggle. Just so you know, anyone who's donated to the channel, Bilibili has made it phenomenally difficult for me to accept your payments, because, put it this way, it's a lot easier for me to get paid through other websites than this one. But that's the last I'll say of it. I want to end this on a happy note. Just before we go, no, we'll do that. We'll get the conclusion out of the way. I think this album was a further reflection of Jay Chou's vision for his music and who he is as an artist, and I think that he was, for the most part, extremely competent. There are a few decisions in regards to the mixing and mastering that I disagreed with, such as I think that in the Ogre or the Orcs or something like that, there was a song with like, the very first one, there was like some sounds in there that were very loud, and they were needlessly loud, and it was a shame because at this point I can only assume Jay Chou was fully versed in how to professionally release songs, and there were just some mistakes with the mixing that I think were a shame. I genuinely enjoyed the direction that some of these songs took, like Dragon Fist. I can appreciate why we had some love ballads in there. It seemed like we either had songs centering around relationships or completely random stuff. My impression is that at this point in Jay Chou's career, he was comfortable enough to feel like he could do whatever he wanted to with his music. Given the ratio of love songs to the other tracks, which are very unusual, unique sort of specimens, I think Jay Chou tried to find a balance of the romantic stuff that most of his fans enjoy and the other risk-taking parts. As someone who has listened to hundreds, if not thousands, of love songs over the years, it was interesting for me primarily to hear the stuff I hadn't heard before. And for the most part, it was handled well. Songs like Grandpa's Tea, songs like Little Blacksmith and Milan, they were fun. Obviously Dragon Fist was great too. It's just a shame that people are not as tolerant or interested in those. You can see the play counts are different, but at the same time, it's fine. I get it. I get it. I will say that the final fight, or the last fight, the last track we did, that was a personal favorite of mine, even though I didn't enjoy it very much. Or I didn't entirely agree with the decisions in regards to the harmony. I think that part of it is simply because they tried to shove the Foley of the videos into the song. But I also can imagine that it would have been less interesting without the Foley, which then is worse, because then you have tracks which can't stand on their own. They need to have the combined branding of the video and audio in order to be meaningful. And I know that they got nominated for awards and stuff. I know it's 2002 and this was still fantastic for the time. And I get that Jay Chou has a legion of fans who will probably dunk on me if I say anything negative. But to be brutally honest with you, I still maintain that while there have been some improvements in regards to Jay Chou's vocals, like he was more confident in regards to vibratos, lead passages, he explored different styles of clean vocals more. His rapping was fine, but the star was when he allowed himself to be more expressive with his singing. You know, there was nothing here that I haven't really heard before from his previous tracks. I'd say that I feel this about the 8 Dimensions about the same as I feel about Fantasy, the first album from Jay, simply because this is first, and the level present immediately it's going to be my favorite regardless. And I have listened to 3 albums now. It's just the way it is, and there's nothing that anybody else can do or say to change my mind about it. There hasn't been anything in here that has prompted me to believe that this is an album that took things to the next level. Aside from, there's been small steps. But I think that just furthers my belief that Jay Chou at this point in time was comfortable with where he was, what he's doing. I don't think that by this 3rd album, Jay Chou really felt the need to improve himself or improve the offering to his audience. I think he was aware that they would eat it up regardless of what he did. And that's my honest feelings about it as a music reviewer. I mean, you can argue that, you know, why is it necessarily, why does he need to improve? And that's true. But then you have to accept the fact that Jay Chou knew he was successful. He knew that he could just do whatever he wanted. And you cannot expect to have a better experience with an album if there is not a significant amount of time and energy invested into improving the overall experience. It's just, it plateaus. So I will review more albums from Jay Chou in future. You know, outside of Bilibili, I will probably review the 4th album later this year, maybe even the 5th. I would like to maybe do 2 albums per year, or maybe even 1 album per season, you know? I think you'll appreciate that I'm a little bit less salty and grumpy than I've been in previous videos. And it's because predominantly I'm in a far better mood. I took a few weeks off over Christmas, got all the Fiverr reviews sorted. I'm no longer accepting fan requests, but if you check into my other channel, you might just find some surprises. I think as a final note for anyone watching this, I want to thank you for supporting me with these reviews. Even if I wasn't 100% positive about this 3rd album of Jay's, I nonetheless am grateful for the opportunity to do it, primarily because it's only due to the fact that I had people interested in watching it. And that's phenomenally important to me because I want to do stuff that means something to myself as well as other people like you watching this. So thank you for supporting this channel and for supporting what I do. Thank you for motivating me to continue to improve these reviews. I feel like my time on Bilibili has allowed me to become a better content creator, and it's taught me that I need to be more aware of how my actions affect others, which is why I'm wanting to improve my communication in future as well as the consistency of my material. 2021 was a learning curve for me. 2022, next step. Just before we finish this review, this is our April Logan in 2022, 3 months after I reviewed the end of the Jay Chou 3rd album. Thanks for watching this video. I'm letting you know that on YouTube, I will actually be reviewing the 4th album live as part of a live stream with fans once we get to 4,000 subscribers. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching this last little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed the experience. If you want to see the 4th album reviewed, and if you want to hang out while I do it, you're more than welcome to come to the live stream, but only if we get to 4,000 subs. Okay, so if you're unsubscribed, I think 75% of you guys are unsubscribed that come watch these videos. Please subscribe. That way we can do an album per 1,000 subs. Because I'm thinking if we do the 4th album at 4,000, we can do the 5th at 5,000. Anyways, I know that I was kind of grumpy sounding in the first half of this review, and I was a lot more chilled in the second. I'm really glad that I'm taking some really important steps to a better and more healthy and more peaceful life. I've got 2 more videos at the time of recording this to upload to Bilibili after this. Hopefully you enjoy those too. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. Spiderhands out.